with the kill in that situation. It's not going to be too many, to be honest with you. And that could have been the difference between that loss and a draw. It literally was one round. That is all it would have taken. And INTZ will know that. They'll know they weren't a million miles away. And I'm sure that they'll carry some confidence from that coming forward into Consulate now. But they are going to need it because although it's their map pick, I just feel like it's the even bigger test for them. Oregon, we've seen Team Liquid do well on there. We've seen them struggle on there and get draws. So there was always that possibility for INTZ to come away with something. But here on Consulate, I'm really expecting Team Liquid to find their stride.
Okay. Map bans coming in this time around. We get Maverick, Thatcher, Valkyrie completely taken out of the mix. Now, again, for any new viewers as well that might have not spotted the Twitter update that went out from the Rainbow Six Esports account, Echo is officially banned from competitive play at the moment in all leagues until the bug around his yokai drones is resolved. So you won't be seeing Echo being picked or banned throughout the course of the show. Mirror being taken out of play this time around though. Tim, as we head into Consulate.
Mirror, a reasonably common ban here on Consulate. There is a couple of uses for up on the top floor, can make things difficult, but I would counter that by saying generally the mirrors are reasonably easily cleared on the top floor. There's generally a window or a line of sight that you can find somewhere that will look onto those gas canisters to get them cleared out, but certainly very useful down in garage. We see them played from security quite often, looking towards the big triple door of garage and able to completely shut down those pushers. Now, PSK looking to bring the fuse along, and you might look at that and think, how often do we see the fuse? But we have seen it once or twice played so far here in LATAM. And you've got to remember, those fuse charges are particularly useful at clearing out utility. So if you can burn away those ADSs with them, it's, you know, only one operator needed to clear out all of the ADSs. So then the other utility of the attackers can sometimes find a little bit more success.
We'll see who'll be getting the great success on a map like this, though. If INTZ can get themselves at least a draw out of this, try and mess with Team Liquid's play day, or contest, go 1-for-1 on the split, take a map win to their map win, definitely do some damage to Liquid's results for the day. And of course, benefit INTZ greatly, as this is one of the fixtures that if you can get any points out of it, you will be smiling from ear to ear. This is one of the harder games of the season that INTZ will have to face, so to drain some points away from the Liquid Lunatics would be the ideal outcome. Obviously, we'll see if that'll go down, though, as they start off on the defense. The attacking side of Team Liquid coming out swinging, you'd imagine, into this. We do also get a little bit of fuse play. Can be quite exciting. He brings along the new breaching tool as well. To be honest with you, it's really not had much time to be used throughout the course of Stage 2 so far. I think we've seen it once where it's fully been used, maybe once or twice where it's been brought, but never actually used in the round.
Team Liquid on the attack of Consulate are very good. That is fair to say. If there is a weakness for them anywhere on this map, it is generally on the defense. And I think that's reasonably fair to say that's common across the board more often than not. But the big strength that Team Liquid have got, particularly looking at this individual site down on Garage, is getting the diffuser down. So we've seen them so far in Stage 2 play this particular site, attack onto Garage. We've seen them do it 6 times. Now, in 3 of those rounds, they've managed to get the diffuser down, and a 50% plant rate is not too shabby at all, Jackie. It really does make it difficult, especially on this site. It is one of the most difficult retakes in all of Siege, essentially, and with the piano control that they are now gaining, it gives them full vertical access to the site. They're going to clear off the Kaid Electroclaw there. I'm not sure INTZ have tried to hold on to that area quite strong enough, but out goes the Electroclaw, and I think that will have some impact on the Selma breaching device. I'm not sure if it will catch the first breach or not, but it may well shut it down after that point. We can see a Nitro is primed and ready there for the vertical attack, but I think right now it's not going to have any success. No, it will be blown, but will not find its man.
Ooh. Okay, well, Got yourself the early entry to work with. Still got 50 seconds left on the clock. Moringa busting out the big sledge and starting to rip up bits and pieces of the floor so they can peer their way in. But they might be flawed if they don't realise there is a potential flank developing. We're seeing a slow roam from INTZ. A backstab that could pay dividends towards the end of this round. Nesk fighting for yellow stairs with a very clean connection. Lovely shot onto Duds. Running amok into the round. That was clinical. If they can keep this up, it should be said and done a Team Liquid round. VNX, he's the roamer I was talking about. Hot drops his way through the vent, going gunning as he slays his way through Moringa, bringing it back down into a 2 versus 4. Outnumbered and outgunned, but they keep on gunning, showing they're handy with the steel. As Nesk's overthrown, it's a 2v2. They enter through the same point of view, walking through the doorway together, paranoid about the vertical play from Team Liquid. They're in some really good post plants here, though. That's the scary factor. Losing this round from this point forward for Liquid should be a slim to non-possibility. There's no way they can throw this one away. Alamau bailing out towards the yellow stairs, but Palu, all he's going to see is red as he slaughters him in close range proximity there. Cleaning up a lovely opening round for Liquid.
Team Liquid staying consistent and getting the diffuser down in garage when attacking. So good at creating that space in and around those two vehicles, the white van and the black car, able to take control of that area extremely well and get that diffuser down consistently. Sexy Cake it was in this case that moves in and gets the briefcase activated on the floor. Now, quite unusual to see a fuse kill, particularly that opener PSK onto Vitz. It's not something that we see too often. As I say, Fuse usually brought along for two purposes. One is to clear utility, but the second purpose that is sometimes overlooked is to push defenders around. It's to move them, to get them out of lines of sight, to flush them towards those waiting lines of sight of the other attackers on the horizontal angles to try and get those kills. But unfortunately, the Kaid this time around was just unable to move his way. He couldn't get anywhere because he was locked down in crossfire. And Vitz, he has to take the L on that one and get shut down by those little explosive hockey pucks coming out of the fuse charge.
You don't want to be hit with those. Do you enjoy a bit of hockey, Tim? Are you a fan of the sport?
I saw a field.
Ice, preferably.
I absolutely love a bit of hockey. Yeah, fast and furious sport, isn't it? Very enjoyable. I've been fortunate enough to see a couple of the American professional games live as well. So yeah, very, very enjoyable. Big fan of hockey.
I do like a bit of hockey, mate. I always, whenever I go to visit a friend of mine in San Jose, we all go and catch some Sharks games. Always an enjoyable time, especially when you get the front row seats, you're right up there, you just see teeth flying, people getting knocked all over the place, Tim. That's what I live for. That's why hockey is a big sport in my mind.
Oh, it's serious. It's just 60 minutes of absolute wall-to-wall action. And talking of wall-to-wall action, that is exactly what we are getting served up in the server today with Team Liquid facing off against INTZ. And if you look up at the top of your screen, you will see the wonderful addition that our production team have brought for us this time around. There's always lots of questions in the chat. What was the score of the last game? Who won the last game? Well, flick your eyes to the top and you will see exactly that. Oregon 7-5 to Team Liquid, and they managed to take a hard-fought victory there. And we've seen some really big plays from both sides. PSK coming out with the big play on the fuse charge there, just looking to clear out some of that utility and get this attack moving for Team Liquid. Successful so far on the bottom floor. They are looking to get a bit more success on the top floor.
It looks like Liquid, they're not only getting support in the polls and in Twitch chat, but also over on Twitter. John coming in with a tweet saying, what a match, let's go, Liquid, hashtag BR6. Now, that is the hashtag we want you to use as well if you want your tweets up on screen throughout the course of the play days here at the BR6. We love that bit of community interaction. Cheers, John. I hope you enjoyed the first map and are definitely locked and loaded, ready for the sequel, as that is what we're in. Round 2. Right now, Liquid, they've already picked themselves up a nice little opening round, and they're ready to do the same once again. They keep PSK over on the fuse as well, so we'll see if there is any more aggression coming out from him. Looking like a goalie in hockey, quite superstitious. He's there, he's banging his puck, he's getting ready for it, he's limbering up, Tim.
And so far, Team Liquid It's important to note in stage 2, 100% attacking win rate on this site. They are yet to lose one. We can see the utility going out there. Smokes, they're going to open up a potential plant spot, and it gets even worse if you get a plant down. They are unbeaten when that diffuser goes on the ground, and I can't see this being any different at the minute. But importantly, Alemi will step out. The opener will actually shut Sexy Cake down on the plant. What an angle. He's just held onto him there, and that puts diffuser cold on the ground with only 20 seconds left to go. Moringa, he will get the kill onto Alemi, but what a nitro toss from VNX in a second. He just flicks left and right, getting kills everywhere in the server, unable to be stopped right now. 2 versus 2. Palu shuts down Drunk, but time is ticking away, becoming a real factor for Team Liquid. We come down in a 2-1 versus 1 head-to-head. It is Nesk versus VNX. He has to get the kill. He will not. VNX, what a shift he puts in the meeting room. He's taking notes right now, Jackie, and he shuts down Team Liquid with 3 kills on the round. It's a big, big play from him.
Lovely. Massacre being served up from the main man himself, cleaning up into the round and keeping it now at a level playing field once again, with it going 1-1 on the split. This is looking damn exciting. Obviously with Oregon, we've already seen the baseline for either of these two teams looking fairly close at the minute. INTZ, the only reason they didn't get a draw out of it is because of the mistakes in one round off the back of quite literally 1 versus 1. So it goes to show both of them are going neck and neck into these rounds. Speaking to someone with a fairly big neck, it's your big man Oryx, Tim. Oryx on Consulate, he can do a lot. We always point it out. We always hope that we're going to see something incredible whenever he's brought to the table. And this is probably one of the better maps for it.
Certainly is, but we just haven't seen it out of this operator yet. We get excited every time about Oryx on Consulate, and the big reason for that, anybody wondering exactly why we get excited about Oryx on Consulate, obviously he can jump up through those hatches, and Consulate is a map absolutely riddled with hatches and riddled with opportunities to just move around and create unexpected flanks with an operator like Oryx, and we just know that there is an absolutely massive play to come out of this operator, but he just always seems to get shut down in the early round. Whilst he's out on that roam, he gets challenged and picked up. We just haven't seen him able to fulfill what we know is a huge potential for him here on Consulate, and we just keep our fingers crossed for the day that he shows us exactly why that power needs to be shut down.
Maybe today will be the day. Could be the opportunity for the stars to align for the big boy in Oryx. We'll see. Definitely someone to keep your eyes on towards the end of the round with the roam potential he has, being able to traverse all of the floors so damn quickly. Liquid, though, moving relatively quickly into the round at least. Already getting into garage, finding all the nooks and crannies, the crevices, where they can creep their way in to gain that early game map control. Ooh, nearly a first encounter found as well. Nesk over towards yellow stairs. He might have to repaint them to being red stairs if he gets close contact, as there was a player right near him. I think it was Drunks that's now roamed off on the alibi. And this gives him more intel. He can peek up, get a bit of a read across, and try and figure out if he wants to go for the execution up to effectively backstab and clear out that top floor.
I like what I'm seeing from the INTZ defense this time around. I commented that they didn't really sort of commit enough for me to the roam on Oregon. They put man out there and were just easily forced back to site. But this time around, they really seem to be sticking with it, particularly here in round 3. We've still got at least 2 active on the top floor. And the reason that the top floor is particularly important is because the attackers, Team Liquid, they want nothing more than to get control over admin, which is directly up above the teller's side of this site. Half of a split site, and you can get that vertical control and then move in horizontally and look to get the diffuser plant down. Now, what a shot from VNX to shut down Palu, backed up immediately by his teammate in Alemi onto Sexy Cake, and that was a great bullet hole kill to open things up. That was absolutely nasty, Jackie.
That was fierce. An incredible way to put yourself into a great position into the round. Duds! Whoa, the gift that keeps on giving for INTZ right now. Another play coming out with that fully automatic machine pistol as he massacres another man from a substantial distance, dropping it into a 5 versus 1. As PSK on the Nomad. Oh, he might be a bit of a lone ranger, but it's not worked well for him. The big iron on his hip has not connected. He doesn't have a hip anymore. Oryx finally gets a bit of a showing into the round, but it's just because he's gunned down In the end, it will be an INTZ win. 4 players staying alive there, only losing their Oryx as Drunk's got the final kill. A disgusting one at that as well. That man is pixel sniffing.
INTZ doing a great job right now of shutting down the Team Liquid attack here on Consulate, and Team Liquid fans watching, they should be concerned about this, Jackie, because on the defense, Team Liquid have not been too hot, let me tell you. Archives and Tellers, 0% win rate. 2 rounds they've defended there, and 2 rounds they have lost. Garage and Cafeteria, out of 5 rounds that they have defended on Garage, they have got a 20% win rate. They've only picked up 1 of them. The only success they've really found on defense has been in Consulate meeting, and you can only pick the win up there twice, essentially. So if they're coming in at potentially a 3-3 half, that could be real trouble for them.
It's scary. It's really scary, but I think the most interesting part about it is it's looking like what we could have had on Oregon. Oh, Tim, the 2 maps, the 2 outcomes we could have had. The alternate reality where INTZ win on Oregon, they come in here to Consulate and they start a game to this level. Oh, it's crazy. Like, especially when you look at just the veto alone, right? When we were back maybe about an hour and a half ago now, speculating and starting to decide whether or not INTZ would have a chance, if Liquid would struggle. And we both kind of thought, nah, it looks like it'll be another Liquid day. The veto's gone in their favor. The way they've been playing, it should be theirs. And then INTZ just come out gunning for them at every opportunity. The spot we're now in, I reckon they got this in the bag to get themselves at least 3 on the half. Keep it close, give yourself a solid fighting chance going over to your attack, and all they have to do is make a couple of slight adjustments when it comes to the executions, and this is a very, very competitive map.
And this is the thing, for Team Liquid, a 3-0 half or worse, potentially even a 4-2 half for INTZ, what it means is that they have to show us something that they haven't before. It doesn't make it impossible for them, of course not, but ultimately, we haven't seen them come out and be strong on the defense so far on Consulate. Have they got it in the locker? Absolutely. But what it does is it ramps up that difficulty level. You're turning it straight up to expert, Jackie. You're cranking it up to veteran to try and get in there and get that win against the odds then for Team Liquid. They're going to have to show us some real mental fortitude in order to do that. So it's important that they get themselves going here and get at least another 2 rounds on the attack. And right now, INTZ, they are looking very, very tricky. The confidence is building. VNX, he's out in the map again. We saw him get a kill on the roam last time around when they were defending down here. The big question that INTZ need to answer, the big thing that they need to figure out, they need to achieve, is they need to stop this diffuser from going down on the ground. And it's not an easy feat at the minute here on Garage, on Consulate.
Nearly 1 minute and 20 left. INTZ, so far, they've been given free hold of the site. Hasn't been much of pressure applied by Team Liquid. Moringa, of course, up over towards Piano Room. It gives him free roam to create those vertical angles, peer down. He can also do a lot when it comes to being able to shut down those batteries that are slapped up against the garage doors, of course, and remove anything that is in position. Kaid, no problem. VNX, ADS is there. They're no longer going to be alive and kicking. That now means they can tear down the garage doors. So perfect play from Moringa. And quick time as well. They still have 45 seconds left, so it's worked out quite nicely for them. The ace charges go up. The Selma devices completely rip down all semblance of a garage door and give them 3 nice entry points into the site. But will this be a pretty sight for sore eyes, or will this be a defense for INTZ? They just need to hold for the final 30 seconds. If they can deny the plant going down from Sexy Cake, it means there is a possibility they can win this one. Time is starting to burn down as well. Duds on the cam, ready to assault them and hold them back, and also relay the info to the rest of his teammates. He's got 2 of them in cheeky little positions, but will he spot out Sexy Cake and know that he needs to push in soon? They have to get him off this diffuser. If they did, they wouldn't have time, but it doesn't matter as it's gone down. They've got 2 frags in favor of Liquid, liquidating the INTZ defense, but they bite back. 3 on 3. Post-pump positions are now pivotal for Team Liquid. Moringa still in a key spot. They've got yellow stairs control, and the only thing they need to rely on is that you do not peek outside the site. Stay alive, and you've won this one.
A serious lack of attention paid to Piano throughout the round has been a here for INTZ, but they managed to fight their way back to a 2 versus 1. This is all on Ness now. If anybody can hit the long shots, it's him. They have very little time, very little option here. They have to get onto the diffuser. That's exactly what they'll do, and shut down as Duds comes out with a huge run out from the yellow stairs door. He's going to take Ness as he vaults over the balcony. He comes down with a huge elbow drop onto the talisman of Team Liquid, wipes him off the map, and that enables them. Drunks gets in, disables the diffuser in the absolute nick of time there for INTZ, and that is a massive retake coming in from them on Garage. That is not something that you see very often on this site.
Rah, that's ridiculous. The cross towards the site, the one angle he was holding, the one position he needed to have honed in so we could find that frag, leave them in a 1v1 at that point. It wouldn't matter if he would have died because there would have been no time to get back towards the diffuser to disable it, but he didn't hit the shots. The spam comes out, the panic pre-fire, he gets across, he's in an angle that you can't peek onto. There was no clear line of sight for him. Maybe if he pushed up, but the issue is, as he's starting to advance further forward, side-swiped. The hailstorm of bullets that come out, brilliant play, good comms, and a lovely retake. A hard one to win for INTZ. Oh, I don't know how they've been able to pull it off. So many things went wrong for them in that round, but they have made none of it matter by the closing moments, Tim. They do definitely need to stop. What on earth is going on towards Piano, though? Moringa basically lives there rent-free.
That's exactly what I was commenting on after the diffuser had gone down, before the excitement all started raining in, was the fact that they were in that position because they keep giving up Piano. And it's strange because they've had VNX, I think it is, out on the roam on the Jaeger, and he's not making any real challenge to prevent them getting in there and getting control. And as you say, Moringa's just strolling in on the sledge every time. He's just wiping out the utility. The thing is, if you're going to give Piano up so freely, then you might as well not bring the Kaid. It doesn't matter. You might as well bring somebody else. You know, there's plenty of other operators that have got nitros if that's particularly what you're looking for from the Kaid, and just bring yourself another option because the electrification is doing nothing. It's just being wiped out so quickly. And whilst it was a fantastic play from INTZ, it is a 1 in 10, a 1 in 20, or even more to get a retake on that site successfully. It was all down to the shots that were hit onto Nesk across the ramp there, and that's not a gunfight that you're going to win every single day. It came down to very, very fine margins, and big props to INTZ for getting it. They've found a way, and those problems with regards to Piano, they're not going to matter for them today because they are not going to be defending Garage again. So it's, you know, a problem to be solved another day, but it is something that they need to look at.
Oh yeah, you got to be aware of it. It's a potential backdoor, and genuinely, I'm still so shook that they were actually able to win that one. Normally, we just, we write it down as done when it gets into a scenario like that. When you've got that kind of post plant, it's so hard to throw away the round. And that time, it gets snatched. The rug was pulled out from underneath them, and Team Liquid, oof, they need to switch things up soon, Tim, because it's getting worrying now, mate. Round 5, 3-1 split on the scoreline. INTZ, they've kind of getting to a point where they could win this half. Especially with some of the switches we're seeing coming into play here. Drunks, particularly for me, is the one catching the eye. You bring the Clash out, we know how much of a nuisance you can be on the Clash. If they don't deal with her early on and get him off that operator, you will really be paying for it in the late round. And the late round is coming up pretty soon. About 60 seconds left nearly now. Clash has been spotted. They have contact. They know exactly where he is, but you need to frag him.
That's it. It's not just about knowing exactly where the Clash is operating. It's about finding an angle safely onto him to be able to get that kill. Because, of course, that shield cuts down 50% of your angles that you're able to use. Now, that's good progress to begin with. We've got the X-Kairos pellets from PSK just opening up a line of sight into meeting. That is going to make things difficult for the Clash of Drunks. Right now, he's backed away. He's got his back up to that wall hard against where the windows come in from the balcony. And right now, still proving to be an absolute nuisance. 2.5 minutes of this round have ticked by without an answer being found to the Clash. We find ourselves 5 versus 4 as Nesk opened things up with a kill onto Vit. We are now coming into the seconds though, and that is massive. A vertical play coming in from Duds. Drunks gets in on the action as well, and we have kills just raining in left, right, and center. 2 from VNX, and this looks like it is going to be another INTZ round unless PSK can do something in the dying seconds, which he can't. The only thing he can do in the dying seconds is die himself, Jackie. VNX shutting him down, and INTZ, they go 4-2 on the half and head in to what could be an even more powerful attacking side for them.
Bro, this is ridiculous, Tim. Like, you understand the approach. You can see what they're going for, right? They want to go for that late round 20-second meta. You want to burst your way in and explode onto the site. But you're going against a Clash and an entire team of INTZ that have had to use none of their utility, none of their gadgets, none of their throwables, zip nada. They had everything in one massive backpack, and they were launching it out at you. 3 smoke cans, Tim. One by one, they went down. Clash, allowed to stay alive the entire time. They had their one gamble when they went for the execution, right? To knock the shield up and kill her then and there. Maybe at that point, if you can somehow hold your breath long enough to get that diffuser down whilst there's smoke cans being dropped on your heads, you might get it. But they couldn't. They go in, they have a blunder when it comes to dispatching the shield. They're sat there breathing in those toxic particles, paying the price because of it. And INTZ, they had an amazing setup for the late round like that. There's no chance they could have had it even pulled away from them with some kind of miracle play coming out in the final few moments from Liquid, right? You had one of them so far down on the vertical angle playing the hatch. They didn't even really need to go for the final frag if they wanted to, but you know what? It worked. They swung out. They knew they had won, took the 1v1 and picked it off. Liquid, you can't be playing like that. You can't be playing that slow into the hands of INTZ. It gave them everything they wanted, Tim.
The vertical kill from Duds, for me, was pivotal on that round. As you said, he was playing across 3 floors there. He was all the way down in basement. He'd opened up the hatch. I think it was in the center of round S, just to give him an angle up onto the ceiling that he needed to challenge for that vertical angle. But it completely and utterly protected the Clash, and that was the big thing. The answer was almost there for Team Liquid. As you say, the shield was knocked away, and that kill came in at the absolute nick of time just to enable that Clash to keep fighting later into the round. And INTZ able to shut it down. They've guaranteed themselves an advantage here, at least 4-2 on the half. They could come out and do one better. We've already seen them win Archives back in round 3. It was big, but let's not forget they did have the big bullet hole opener onto Palu, but once again they get the opener. Drunks onto Nesk this time. PSK trades that out, but we find ourselves 4 versus 4. It's the Ash off the board for Liquid, so not the end of the world, but I could say the same for the alibi of Drunks as well. His utility will already have been placed. The Geminis, sorry, not Geminis, the, what are they called? The alibi gadget. It's completely gone out of my head, Jackie.
Oh, the Prismas?
The Prismas, there we go. Very similar to the Gemini, to be fair. But yeah, the Prismas. Yeah, they're in place. It's not the end of the world losing the alibi.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like, once you get them down, that's still one of those big rolls. I mean, you should know not to shoot them, at least, if she is dead. But if you leave them in a scenario where it is awkward to bypass them, or potentially only see the top of the head, if you mistake the beret for something else and shoot at it, then you will give the game up ever so slightly. And being in a 4v4 like this, it's still definitely manageable for Team Liquid, but they have to start managing the situation soon. Let's see if they're up to the task when it comes to the business. Right now, though, they are paying for it, and this round is costly. PSK! I said get frags, but not on your own team. Palu, he's been shot in the back of the head. He's fallen over, brown bread, and it's all left on one man. PSK in a 1v3 with 50 seconds left to work with. This is a nightmare, a lucid dream that he just can't wake up from. Water splashed on his face as VNX will swing and INTZ get another round in.
It's all falling apart for Team Liquid right now, and that team kill just sums it up for me. It's just as if the left and right hand don't know what each other is doing at the minute. They just don't seem coordinated to the same degree. INTZ, they've got themselves absolutely firing now. They are on all cylinders, cooking with gas, and they are coming in, getting entry frags. They are trading. Moringa, I thought he might have some success there. He just managed to maneuver his way quickly into sight, and I thought this could be a real surprise to INTZ, but absolutely not. Alemo just alert there, completely shuts down the danger. Great performance from INTZ on the defensive half to take it 5-1. Who would have thought that coming in here? And now they get to attack, and Quite often we've seen that be the more powerful side of Consulate, and Team Liquid, very, very little wiggle room left for them, Jackie. No mistakes can be made now.
That's what we always say when it gets to this point. 5 rounds, that's your buffer gone. You can't afford to lose one, right? You drop a single round, then you have given them the draw. You've literally handed it to them on a silver platter alongside a martini and probably some nibbles. And that's far too much to give to them, Tim. You can't be dropping a game this early. Team Liquid, we say it many, many times. And normally it does ring true. They only ever get put on pause. They're never switched off. Scary factor for me is, though, in this game, Tim, I don't know if they're going to have a chance to reboot.
Certainly going to have to hit that button soon now. Interestingly, we've got Team Liquid coming down to Garage to begin with. Played it 5 times so far in Stage 2, won it once. 20% win rate. INTZ, by contrast, on attack, 100% win rate in Garage so far for Stage 2. So if anything, Team Liquid have started out by giving INTZ their strongest attack in sight. Overall, INTZ have struggled a little bit on the attack. We haven't seen a huge amount of it, but 50% win rate archives and tell us they haven't managed to get an attacking win on the top floor of console. So for me, I'm looking at that and thinking, you know, maybe there was a better opportunity there. But Alu, he's going to open things up with a big shotgun kill onto Duds. So that is the perfect start so far for Team Liquid. They need to back that up now. They need to find themselves some more. Sexy Cake, as we can see on the Vigil, he's just out there roaming, trying to mix things up and create any chaos that he can here and just really throw a bit of turmoil into the comms of INTZ and make it difficult to nail himself down. Where is he? Where's he attacking from? Where's the angle? Where will he move in to challenge you? Right now, I'm not sure that INTZ are aware. They have managed to force him back. They've got control of the top floor, but let's not forget they are attacking onto Garage, and Team Liquid are doing a very good job of restricting access into Piano. It was something that we commented that INTZ were unable to do. Team Liquid took full advantage of it. They've got 2 men in there right now, and that is just displaying the importance that they are placing upon holding that area of the map.
Well, the potency of INTZ be shown here now. Oh, Vitz going for the pre-fire after the cross. A little bit risky. He gives the game up and also suffers some damage because of it as they shoot back and get a bit of a clean connection onto him. Alamau's position will be compromised as well. They'll hear the audio cues as he spams to tear down the barricade over towards Yellow Stairs. 2 players close beneath him. VNX swing and a miss there, unfortunately, with the sledge, but it's going to be okay. He can hit the follow-up. Very reminiscent, of course, of what we saw Moringa doing on Team Liquid's side. You want to get piano control. You need to open up that side of the floorboard, peer down, and get rid of all of the utility that's there. The Kaid claws, anything that could be a nuisance maker into the late round to allow you access towards Garage. That's where Drunks comes in. He's the one with the Selma devices, waiting for the opportunity to get them stuck to the wall, but that opportunity is creeping by them. Finally, he is able to find the connection there with the nade. Drops it down, takes out the gadgets, gives them the entry point, but it's too little too late. Look how much damage has been done all the way towards this point. They've wasted so much time, and quite literally, 3 of their players have been wasted. 10 seconds left on the round. Drunks, you got to clear your close left. If he goes into that smoke can, he's going to be shot in the side of the head. He's paranoid about it, and he does peek it, but you've got to crack open that diffuser now. It has to go down, or the round is over. He's got to stick it. He cannot physically afford to come off. It's not going to be up to him. He'll be blown off it, Tim. A round going the way of Team Liquid.
Team Liquid looking very strong on the defense there. Paid plenty of attention, as is required, to Piano. As we saw, they wasted an inordinate amount of time up there, but Nesk still then got 2 kills on the vertical. He was playing in and underneath Piano and just refusing to allow any sort of domination or control to come out of INTZ from that location. It was a bit of a gamble for them, in my mind, going down to Garage, given their previous record there, but it's a gamble that's paid off, Jackie. They've played against the odds, and they have won this time. They come out now up to a strong sight up on console. We have yet to see INTZ win here on the attack, and this could be another leg, another step in the Team Liquid fight back. They are 2-5 now. A win here on the top floor sends them 3-5, and all of a sudden that fight back starts looking a bit more realistic.
I think that's the bit that really does harm them as well, because even though they've played a tremendous defense and they've gone above and beyond in terms of winning the half and giving themselves a really good buffer to play with, Tim, that they still have to play their attacking half. And on a map like Consulate up against Team Liquid, they're going to have their reads. They're going to quickly be able to adapt. And also, here's one of the pivotal plays. It worked for you, Ints. It's certainly going to work for Liquid if you don't realize how to deny it. And I'm, of course, talking about the ginormous shield, the massive screen of perspex that's been brought along by Sexy Cake. He's been sat there, Tim, in the downtime, in the prep phase, polishing that bad boy, getting it clean with the wet wipes, and it is squeaky clean. We know how damn good he can be on shields. All eyes on Sexy for me in the late round, Tim, if he doesn't get fragged.
Visibility is going to be at an all-time high for him, as you say, Jackie. The shield is polished, cleaned, and ready to go, and we know how effective Sexy Cake can be with those shields. So 5 versus 5, we find ourselves still after 30 seconds. There's not really been too much aggression in terms of jump outs or peaks so far. I think Ints, you know, they're ready for it, and Team Liquid, they know that they've got a long way to fight back. The last thing they need to be doing is giving up a nice early kill in any of these rounds. They don't want to give anything away cheaply here. They need to just make themselves as difficult as possible to deal with. Right now, the drones, they are going in. Hints paying some good due diligence. Just going to ping out the Wamai there. They know the position is taken up. We can see the Banshee at the top of the yellow stairs as well. Going to make it difficult to approach. Out goes the utility. And there goes the Banshee as well. So they're just guaranteeing that there were no ADSs that were going to prevent the explosive utility coming in to clear out that Malusi gadget. We can see the breaching charge used to clear out the rest now. Will the Wamai take a peek here? Is PSK brave enough? No, shut down by a nade and then finished off by Duds. That's going to be the first kill going into Ints. 4 versus 5. And there is still the important point that Sexy Cake is alive and has the shield intact in front of him.
He's got to keep it up. He's got to keep himself up. And hopefully keep the heart rate pounding. Ints, they've applied the pressure. The clean kill to find onto PSK. There's been no real bite back because of it. No repercussions. As the only one that took damage was Duds. And, I mean, it's not really that much when you look at it. In the grand scheme of how that will affect a firefight, it's not going to do too much to him. Does link up, though, in a party of 3 as they try and take yellow stairs control. Cheeky peek on the close angle. Sexy holding it with the shield. Moringa, he goes for the wide face. He gets one, but there's no trade. Sexy, he's allowed to pull out the SMG and sideswipe onto Duds. They keep on gunning, but they're being overthrown ever so slightly. VNX given a slim opportunity, but he'll double down on it with both hands. The peak from VNX. That 2K is ridiculous. Getting the frag onto Nesk has just turned the tide of the round, but they still have to worry about Sexy Cake. There's a roam developing from Palu. He's looking for a big game backstab. If he shuts down VNX, they're really going to be up the creek without a paddle. But VNX, this man's got eyes in the back of his head. His spidey sense is tingling. And he's looking like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man as he's cleaning up the crime into this one, Tim. It's all down to Clash. Sexy can't deny the diffuser going down. Now you're in a 1v3. You've got out your SMG. You're going to take a bullet to the brain because of it. Ints, they get another round. They get themselves 6. They're guaranteed a draw. 1 more for the victory, Tim. This could be a 1-1 split on the maps.
All about VNX that round, coming in with a massive 3k and getting the diffuser down active on the ground. In 3 versus 1, it's always going to be tough for the Clash there. Very little that Sexy Cake to do, essentially almost half an operator at that point. A shield like Montagna or Clash really needs somebody working with them. They need, when they're feeding that information out from behind the shield, somebody who is able to act on it, to get those kills, to use the rifle. They're so limited in terms of their arsenal to challenge into a 1 versus 3 like that. It is a really long odds situation for them now. Team Liquid, they are limited to 2 points at the absolute max here. They took Oregon 7-5, so that is 1 win on the board. But if Ints can get themselves just 1 more round on the attack here, they will come through this and get themselves a point off Team Liquid. They will deny them the lion's share of what they could have put on the overall leaderboard. And I'm sure that Team Liquid are going to be asking questions coming out of this as to how they found themselves 6-2 down on Consulate. And right now, we can see that Ints' confidence in taking Team Liquid to Consulate was not misplaced.
No. They clearly went into this one ready with the anti-strats, ready with the reads, and ready to rumble. And right now, they're going toe-to-toe in the middle of a cell, raising hell, quite literally. INTZ are looking so damn good, Tim, and if they can maintain this trailblazing style of gameplay and keep it up for one more round, then they will win themselves a map against Team Liquid, and that is a big fixture. That is a big map win. That's no ordinary one map being taken off a team. That's Team Liquid being bested, the team that's currently seed #1 in BR6. They went to the major last time around. They are some of the best and brightest fraggers from Brazil. If you can win this here, Tim, you put yourselves into a good position to build off that momentum towards the end of this season, as this is only week 2 of BR6.
INTZ looking to bring a big flex to BR6 in just week 2, as you say, shutting down the potential champions. At the end of the day, Team Liquid have, as of yet, in the new format, struggled to put a title on the board. They were beaten to the top spot by Team 1. They then went out of the major that was ultimately won by NIP, and whilst they are certainly one of the strongest teams, there is no question of that, they have to deliver. That is the point. If they want to be known as the best team out of Brazil, they have to start coming through and closing down matches like this and getting the wins. And shots will rain down, but Alemo it will be with a big double. Palu and Ness going by the wayside. Sexy Kick shuts him down in a trade, but not before the damage is done. 4 versus 3 now, and the pressure is really mounting on Team Liquid. Will they crack, or will they come out stronger for it? Will they be the diamond coming from the piece of coal? Jackie, right now, my bet is on the former. They just haven't been able to find their shots or any sort of momentum here on Consulate so far. If there's a site that they can do it on, we know that it's here on top floor. Previously, 100% win record, but that just goes to speak of the achievement for INTZ here. If they can come in and get 2 successful attacks onto this site, it shows that they have done it against the odds. They have come in and really fought hard. They have been clinical, and they have closed out what could be a difficult site in Console.
Duds. He wants to end it now, and that might be one of the final nails going into a Team Liquid horse-sized coffin if they don't somehow bite back with the final 2 that remain. PSK and Moringa, a dynamic duo. But have they got enough to do the damage in a round like this? 35 seconds left. Timing is of the essence, and the shots are actually connecting. PSK peeking up, headshot onto Drunks, brings it back down into something a little bit more manageable. 25 seconds with the diffuser down towards yellow stairs. They need to pick it up. It's a 3v2. This is winnable, but you cannot afford to make a single mistake. Duds going towards the barricades. He pre-fires in, gives up the goose. They know his location, and that's going to be his final resting place as he hits the deck. They commit to the plant. The nitro toss could deny the diffuser, but it doesn't connect. It won't matter. Switches over to the secondary. The shotty will do the damage instead. PSK dispatching bits in the meantime, and they will stay alive for another round. How on earth have they brought back a 2 versus 4?
Vitz, I think, knew that he was about to be challenged. The man on the window losing his life gave him the call out. He had to dip off the diffuser, but he was fortunate not to lose his life to the nitro. Just didn't quite have the arm to make that connect, try as they might. But as you say, what a great round from Team Liquid there. 2 versus 4 is certainly not something that you see every day, and INTZ did well to put them in that position. They fought hard, and they got themselves some good frags on the round. A huge opening double coming in from Alemo, taking Nesk and Palu off the board, but it just wasn't enough, and that is the sort of situation that could leave INTZ scratching their heads, asking, how can we not win a situation where we take Nesk and Palu off the board to begin with and find ourselves 5 versus 3 in the opening moments of the round? But right now we're going to be heading back down to the garage once again. Team Liquid favouring this site. They did have a good win back in round 1. They were able to hold on to Piano for a long time and make things difficult for INTZ. And the reason that that is so difficult, if you can't get control of Piano, it is all about the vertical angles, and it's the freedom that the defenders then experience in sight. We saw without all the vertical holes being opened up, Nesk was able to just roam around white van, black car, and normally speaking, that's a bit of a no-go area if Piano is not in your control. And as the holes were opened up, he was able then to aggress onto the players who had pushed themselves into Piano eventually for INTZ, and able to shut them down. So that's something that they need to think about this time around, is maybe getting control over Piano a little bit quicker.
speedy kills. There's potentially one of them coming up relatively quickly as Duds on the Ash is already gunning for an entry frag. Roaming around. And if he gets a little bit overzealous, potentially walking straight into the awaiting arms of either Palu or Nesk, who are hunting, clearing out the lower levels of the map bit by bit to spot out any of the early oncomers from INTZ. They've got a fair amount of map control already, and not much time has actually passed into this one. Good drone play. They haven't had to really overextend onto too many of the angles and have cleared out a lot of the lines of sight. Vit setting up for a late round rotation as he'll drop out that air jab. If you go up the stairs, you're going to get a nice little boost as it will knock you in the bottom and send you flying. Talking of bottoms, Tim, we are into squeaky bum time. Again, Team Liquid, they cannot afford to make mistakes. You drop a round, you drop out of the game, out of the series, with it ending 1-1 in terms of overall map wins tonight. Liquid dominated on Oregon, but INTZ are looking to do the same to them here on Consulate. In the final 1 minute and 30 seconds of this round, will they be able to get something in their favour? Still not a single frag on the board yet.
INTZ have got sight surrounded now. They've moved in, got some map control, got themselves positioned and ready to strike. Team Liquid, they're holding themselves all 5 on site. This is a turtle defense, and it is all about time for them now. They are going to try and waste as much of it as they can in terms of denying Drunks when he tries to get in and get that diffuser down. But they are going to have to hope for a couple of those long angles to pay off so that they can get kills along the way. They've got Palu on the pipes. They've got PSK at the back of White Van. Those two are particularly important to prevent this diffuser going down too quickly. Right now, VNX up above, opening up the vertical angles. The kills start raining in. Vits onto PSK. That is going to be the Kaid off the board. 5 versus 4 now. 40 seconds left to go, and things are looking so far so good for INTZ. The Toxic Babes, they start to rain out. Moringa has 2 left at the absolute most. He can't burn out the remainder of the round. Duds absolutely deleting Nesk right through the map there. That is a fantastic kill from him to make this 5 versus 3. The Malusic goes by the wayside. Pressure is mounting for Team Liquid. Now or never, if they want to take an overall win across the 2 maps from INTZ, they have to keep themselves in this round. There is no room for mistakes. Drunksy's got himself in, starts to get the diffuser down, but has to back away as the smoke canister comes out and is effective. Moringa, he shuts down a Lemo, and right now, kills are raining in left, right, and centre. Sexy Cake squares things away. 3 versus 3 leveled up, but the diffuser is successfully installed. 40 seconds left for Team Liquid to send a message, for Team Liquid to fight their way back into this. We saw INTZ have a successful retake here on Garage. Can Team Liquid answer with one of their own? 3 versus 3 is certainly going to be difficult. Sexy Cake, he's looking to move back to site. Moringa, he gets 1 onto Drunks and leaves us 3 versus 2, but with 15 seconds left, time is short. Sexy Cake gets VNX. Duds, he's looking to chase down the man, but right now, they could get onto the diffuser. That's exactly what Moringa is going to do, but he's going to be shut down from above. Sexy Cake completely unaware that Duds was there. A lack of information is what will cost Team Liquid the point, as that is it. The game is shut down by INTZ. It will be a draw overall. That is the best that Team Liquid can take away from the underdogs.
Oh, he's only gone and done it. Disgusting plays. The roam, he was so sneaky, right behind him, chasing Sexy Cake, knowing it's not worth going for the frag. Bypasses him, letting him down to the site, peeks in. The angle was always there, setting him up for success. Slays the first, bides his time, peeks into the second. At that point, there is no chance. You physically cannot disable that diffuser. 7-3. They will win it. A sickeningly good game of Consulate. A fantastic series between